And here we go. Again.
We're back again?
I believe so. Are we back? Yes.
Good.
We are back. So we continue.
I just remembered when we were sitting with Guru Ganga, there was my young student. I don't remember how I call her in the book. Mara. And she was sitting next to him. And suddenly she fainted and fell on the ground.
Which she often did.
That was something she did since she was 8 years old. The doctor said it was kind of epilepsy, but it was not. It was just her brain overloaded. She needed to rest. No, she would fall down. So she fell down, and then the guru put his hand on top of her nose and mouth to close it completely. No, and he said, yes, she will fight for life. She will come back. The life instinct will take my hand off, no? But it did not. She didn't do anything. And so in the end I said to her, go, take your hand off. And I took some carton or something and gave some fresh air to her, and she came back, no? And later I said to her, yeah, I know why you fainted, because that naked guy was sitting next to you. You looked over there and you just fell down. Okay.
In Rishikesh in the evening, we observed an old woman sweeping a section of the street with a small...
Look, one thing I remember right now. He went, it was getting dark there in the house of Baba Bola, and he went to take a walk on the beach next to the river bank. And he came back with a chicken.
We cleaned today.
But not small chicken. Would you see that chicken?
Yeah.
He came back with that thing.
Nati chicken. Village chicken.
And that chicken he was like the mother of the chicken. I mean, the chicken was always running around with him. He just found it there next to the river, and he brought it. Completely confident that the animal was him. You can show
I don't know.
that?
Yes, maybe.
You
Maybe
go.
we can get up. You can tell
I
me.
tell you
You can
what
tell me.
is
Further
happening.
left, further right.
More closer. Yeah, that is good now. Yeah. Yeah, don't look too concentrated. He's naked. We don't want to offend no one. Okay. Yeah, the chicken. He brought the chicken.
And then the chicken was simply there.
I don't remember. He didn't take it. Then when he went back to Haridwar, no? So supposedly he left it there. I don't know. I don't remember.
So in Rishikesh in the evening, we observed an old woman sweeping a section of the street with a small broom and then lying down there to sleep. The people are poor, but they have a great sense of dignity?
I say dignity, yes.
Yeah. There was no bad smell anywhere and the streets were quite clean. We often went to a tiny restaurant, a tin hut with 4 tables and a mini kitchen. This wasn't for tourists. That was India. Once a man came into the restaurant and spread out his instruments on the next table. Forceps, syringes, etc. He was a dentist. He then went to the owner who was sitting at the register and pulled his tooth while we and the other guests were eating lunch. Nobody was bothered by it. India is different.
The guy, he came on his bicycle, parked, took his little bag or whatever, putting all the tools there, and he went.
Finished. And then he probably got a meal.
Maybe.
Nobody eats meat here. Even dogs and cats eat vegetables and trust everyone because they have nothing to fear. Cows everywhere, lying or walking. Not because they were declared holy, but because everyone fed on their milk for a time as children. The cows are a second mother. And no one in their right mind would eat their second mother.
That is what is his name? This famous guru now from India, who's everywhere on internet. Sadhguru. That's what he says, no? Look, It's not that we declare that animal holy, but it feeds you when you're a little child, so why would you kill that? No?
Guru
And the
Ganga.
people in the restaurant, when they gave you this bread, no, the flat bread, no, they made a lot of on the
Chapatis or
chapati, no, and then people that was left over from their food, they would take it to the street and give to the cows.
I remember you always use, and it's funny, or it's in a restaurant when you take your leftovers, it's called a doggy bag. And we were doing exactly that. We were then giving it to the street dogs, or depending on what it was or how much it was, we might also give it to a poor person, but usually it was meant for the street dogs. Guru Ganga visited again. He had been walking around completely naked for 22 years. When I asked him why he did that, he replied, "My master asked me to do it." The Guru went naked up into the Himalayas to meditate in the middle of the snow. These sadhus are naked, but rub themselves with the ashes of the sacred fire. They burn. Guru Ganga had prepared his new ashes. They must be ground very finely so that they do not harm the skin. He went to the Ganges to wash off the old ashes. One of his students was standing on the bank with a plate full of new, finely ground ash. Just as the Guru came out of the water, clean and without the bluish ash, the boy with the plate slipped and all the new ash fell to the ground. At that moment, the Guru held his hands in front of his private parts out of shame and ran as quickly as he could into the house to prepare new ashes. Because they're not naked, they don't feel naked with that.
They don't feel naked with that, no? He was standing then in where Baba Bola was living on this little street. He was standing always with his one leg up, no, and his trident, the Shiva, no, standing there, and people would come by, and no, he's not ashamed because he's dressed with the color of Shiva, no.
The bluish hue.
And then in that moment, it was so funny.
Bole Baba called Mara to initiate her as a sadhu candidate. We were all present and the short ceremony was held with laughter and jokes. And that's another thing. There's very often laughter and jokes. It's not all so serious.
No, it's the Western people who come there, and they've seen some TikTok where a Western person takes an initiation, no, with a guru, and then that person would make no, and they believe if you don't do that, it means
it hasn't happened. It hasn't
had
happened.
not happened. No? But for us, that all was completely normal. We were laughing and talking, and he was putting his hand here on Mara and doing his things.
Afterwards, the Baba said to her, "Mara, I know that you are very excited about everything you have seen and experienced here. But you should always keep one thing in mind. Your Baba comes first, then me." While I was sitting with Bole Baba in his room in front of the sacred fire, an elderly Indian couple entered.
There's another story. So there was a young German girl who also took the initiation with him. I don't know if I wrote that, maybe not. It's not coming. So, and she made that show, no? Okay. And then after that, Guru Bole Baba called Mara and made the initiation, and we were all laughing. So the German girl started to complain about us. Said to him, "You should kick these people out. They don't know what it means to be spiritual. These are not the right people." And he said to her, "Shut up. These people are part of my family." "No, but you have seen that behavior, blah, 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 blah." And in the end, he said to her, "Take your things and out of here." He just had made the deal with him, initiated, and he kicked her out. And then some days later, we went to Haridwar to visit that guru, and then he said to me, look, Effendi, I have the telephone of that girl. Apparently he felt sorry for the girl, no? And I could call her and we could go to visit her. And I said, well, you may go, I will not. And he said, no, if you don't go, I will not go. Because that was useless. What he said, these people are not looking for nothing. So what could you give them?
Not feeling
Nothing.
life.
They don't feel anything. No? Okay. You see, the Beatles, the only one who really got it was Ringo Starr, no? He said, fuck you, and he went away from there. And they were, or he was the first one who left. No, said, no, sorry, I'm not for that, no?
Making a show out of it.
Yeah, all this show and all. No, it's something very intimate, very private, very normal, very...
And was
when you would, in Turkey, what they call to take the hand, because you really give the hand, you call the prayer beads, you hold them, and no one would make a show like that. The Effendi would recite all what he has to recite and blah, 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 and then maybe, or change your name or whatever he has to do, but there's no show. No. Because it's not true. It might happen in one moment.
Doesn't mean it cannot happen to. Yeah.
It might happen to one person, no, but no, that's not normal.
While I was sitting with Bole Baba in his room in front of the sacred fire, an elderly Indian couple entered. Out of respect, I got up and left the room. After the couple had left, the Baba asked me if I knew why they had come. I said no. And he told me that the man had come some time ago and offered to pay for the construction of an ashram, a meditation center. The Baba had asked him to speak to his wife and ask her if she agreed with the idea. Now they had both come and were ready to finance the construction. Think about how much money you're willing to spend on building the ashram. Then take that money and spend it on educating some orphans. If you still want to finance the center later, come back.
You see?
In service
of
of
creation in the name of the Creator. No?
That's different, huh?
That's different, yes.
This was different from those ashrams for spiritual tourists in Rishikesh, where you had to pay 50 euros for a day to learn yoga, or even received a yoga master title in a short time for 2,000 euros. At that time, with 50 euros, it was possible to stay in an expensive hotel for a month. And also
in what? Expensive?
Inexpensive hotel. Yes, I was just saying, At that time, with 50 euros, it was possible to stay in an inexpensive hotel for a month and also eat cheaply. See? Finally, the day came when I had to say goodbye to the Baba. When I entered his room, there was another man sitting there with him. The man addressed me with the following words. Since you are leaving now, it would be nice to leave a small gift, some money. Bole Baba looked at the man and pointing at me said, this man is a Baba and he can read my heart as I can read his. You're not even allowed to say a word to him. We gave each other a hug and I left his house. We waited. Everywhere there's politics, no? Everywhere there's politics. Who says what to whom? Who has to do what? What a blessing to be with people where it's not needed,
it's
no?
It's not like that, no?
Yeah.
Well, I remember I was sitting next to him some days before, and I said to him, Bole Baba, I have something for you. And he lifted up his sheepskin, he was sitting on a sheepskin, and put it under that. And I put money under it. No? I mean, for me, it was normal. And for a long time, we sent money to him from here. But then something happened with his ID card, or he couldn't take the money any longer, and then we gave up. No? But every month or 2 months, we sent some money for him to support his business, his life. No?
And the people that he's supporting. The people that he is supporting.
Claro. And there was also like the river a flood, and it took away part of the wall from his house.
We waited in the hotel garden for the 2 taxis that were supposed to take us from the hotel to the airport. The hotel manager sat at a table with me and pointed to 2 women entering the hotel. "New guests, since you are leaving today," he said.
Turkish. They were Turkish. 2 Turkish women.
In case you don't remember the whole hotel, because like what had happened, no? You were wondering how come the hotel is empty? Can we help in some way or the other? And the hotel manager said, no, as long as you are staying here, the whole place is only for you, because we've never seen
someone like you from the Western world.
And what they mean with never seen someone like you from the Western world, obviously he had to perceive something else, because I mean, yeah, you might look a little bit strange, but still a normal human being, no? Like there's a perception,
he had
a feeling.
If you what are you saying?
He then asked me if we would take anything home from our trip. And he didn't talk about the souvenirs my students bought. "Yes, but not all of us," I replied. The young man pointed his head at a woman sitting on the grass, a man coming down the stairs, and another woman about to go down to the water, and said, "Those 3 aren't taking anything from here." And he was right. He could feel it. So amongst your students, your disciples, it was very
the
clear.
ones who then later left and made a lot of problems, and then,
On our way to Delhi, we drove behind a long truck for a while. A sign on the back of the trailer said, "If you notice that the driver of this truck is driving in an irresponsible manner, please call the following number."
You see how nice?
India is
How
different.
wonderful? No?
See? We reached the airport. A young stewardess stood at the entrance and opened the door for us. I wanted to say goodbye to India, full of enthusiasm, and said, "Namaste." "Good evening," she replied.
Good evening, sir. And opened the door and said, "Oh,
We were already no longer in India.
India is gone." You see, this modern world. It has nothing to offer, only destruction. Nothing else. Okay?
Okay.
Finici?
Finished. We finished the chapter. The
And
next
then?
one is called Back in Spain.
Now we have to make a little Indian island here in Spain.
Okay.
No?
I mean, look around.
Yeah, we did. I mean, in that moment we came here and said, no, we have to bring that here in some way. But in a real way, not making the show, no.
Yeah. Muy bien.
Okay, Güle, goodbye, see you
Hasta la
later.
próxima.